Hey guys, this is Olga with AskYourSoul.org, and today I wanted to talk about a book that I've been really enjoying listening to on Audible, and it's called Sacred Contracts by Caroline Myss. And I love her work. I love a lot of her books, especially her earlier works. And this one is definitely one of the best ones that I've listened to thus far. It's basically about how we all have certain contracts to fulfill in this life, and we kind of decide upon these contracts as souls, prior to incarnating on this planet. And she really goes into this process, like what happens, what does this mean? I mean, I highly recommend this book. I think it's really cool, really fascinating. And this concept of, soul contracts, I've known about it for at least a decade, if not more than that. So it's not necessarily a new thing for me, but I just feel like she really goes into the depth of this, and I just love it. And it's not only about that, it's about purpose. It's about, basically, why we're here. Anyway, so I just came across this quote by Carolyn, and I had to share this one with you because I don't know, it just really resonated with me, and I felt like it's very helpful for people who feel like they're lost. Like they've tried so much stuff and they're just not sure, like, what's going on. They don't know where to go, like, what to do with this information. Nothing really even resonates with them anymore, maybe. And it's just a very, very tough spot to be in. I know. Because I've been there one too many times. But I love the way that she reframes this in her book. And that's why I highly recommend this book, if you find yourself lost or struggling or just feeling like nothing makes sense anymore. So anyway, so here's the quote. You're under contract to wander. That is as much a part of your contract as is perhaps your ability to heal somebody or to participate in that. Or as is your ability to become somebody who nurtures people by the way you prepare your meals in the kitchen, to nurture and send light through food. You don't even realize what you're doing. All you need to do is accept what you do very well and do it. And to accept what you don't do very well and realize, I'm not animated. There's no electricity with this. This isn't for me. I need to walk away. Your life includes the wandering journey. You're gonna wander every time you finish a stage of empowerment. You're going to be set off wandering again. You can't sit still, can't stand still, be still, until you are still. I just feel like this is so powerful because from personal experience, I definitely know what it's like to feel lost, to feel like you don't even know why you're here, like what's the point? And I find myself through most of my life as one of those multi-potentialites, like people who get really interested in one thing, and then a few months later, like for me, for some reasons, usually 3 months, but 3 months later, I'm just like, well, that was great, and I'm bored. Like now I need something else, whatever. Like now something else is totally interesting to me, and I don't really care about the other thing anymore. And it's so hard to create anything worthy and substantial, you know what I mean? When you're kind of always on the surface of things versus digging really deep and getting to the core of it and studying it for many, many years. So it does require a lot of discipline and a lot of patience with yourself. But it can be done. And I just think the point is that it's really important to be in a place where you are comfortable, where you're not you're pushing yourself. Of course, you're always going to have to push yourself regardless, because that's the whole point of spiritual evolution, and growth. But it shouldn't be so hard that it's totally out of your comfort zone. It's totally not what you want to be doing. So there has to be at least some component to whatever you're doing that makes you super interested and excited and just makes you want to go on. Otherwise, you're not going to do it for very long. You're just not gonna have like the discipline or the desire to keep going. But I think that like deep inside, we all kind of know, we feel that there's something we should be doing. That's why you're attracted to videos or whatever audio like this, because you want to find out what the hell it is. You're like, I've been searching my whole life. But again, like she says, you're under contract to wonder. And to me, that was kind of both encouraging and refreshing, but also like really annoying, because I'm like, oh my god, like can this contract just be over already? Can I just like know specifically, exactly to like the most specific degree exactly what it is I'm supposed to be doing? Thank you very much. But again, on this path to trying to figure out what the heck it is that I want to do with my life, I am learning so much. I mean, I think my life and your life would be so boring if, like, from the get-go, you're born, and actually Caroline talks about this too, basically, like, if you're born, your angel comes to you, or whoever you believe in, and they're like, well, here's the plan, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing, this is who you're supposed to be with, this is how this is gonna go, like, basically, there's no element of choice in any of this, it's kind of, like, all predestined and obvious, and, well, you're here to do this and that. Can you imagine how freaking boring that would be? Like, for the rest of your life to just have this knowledge and just be like, oh my god, like, is that all there is? It's just so boring. Like, why would you even want that? But the more you wonder and the more you spend time searching and discovering all of these different paths, all of these aspects to yourself that you didn't even realize were there, the more you learn, the more you grow, the more stable and concrete you become in your views. And I guess the more you accept it and you just make peace with it, because it's not like there's much else you can do about it. So yeah, I guess that was my main point with this audio. Like, I just wanted to remind you that just because you don't know where the heck you're going or where you even are on your path, that's totally fine. It's actually how it's supposed to be. Like, that's the whole point. And you're listening to this right now because you need to be reminded of that. As do I. It's just so hard to be optimistic and just accept things and just pretend like everything's fine when you are always in the state of like wondering and waiting. But hopefully that's not all you're doing. You're also spending some energy and time actually discovering what you want to do. So my advice, and I know giving advice is like the easiest thing in the world, but that's just something that I find to be helpful. So hopefully it'll be helpful for you as well. Just really, really, really try to listen to that part of yourself that makes you want to do certain things. And I'm not talking about like partying, whatever, going to clubs, eating good food. I mean, that's all part of our experience, obviously, but you don't want to take it to such a level where it trumps everything else in your life, because then you're just wasting it. You're just wasting your time. It's basically you're just dealing with your anxiety in that way, and you're not confronting anything that's real. But I want you to focus on something that's like, if you have an interesting idea and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I should try that. I should do that. This is how it started with this audio, right? So I just had this idea. When I heard the quote, I was like, man, that would be like a really cool quote to share with people, because I'm sure that a lot of them could resonate with that as much as I did. And then I had a choice. I could either just be like, yeah, whatever, it's great. Just like move on and forget about it. Or I could try to find it in the audiobook, write it down, talk about this, post it on YouTube for other people to hear. That's what I'm talking about. So it's basically, it doesn't have to be anything major. It's just kind of always pushing yourself a little bit further, like just a little bit further than you want to go. And just being patient with yourself, because the truth is that none of us really know where this is going. And again, it would be like really boring if we did. Just think about it. So you just take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Do what calls to you, what makes you feel curious and electric and authentic, and just see what happens. But try not to have a lot of expectations from it, because that's a great way to get disappointed. But yeah, again, just see what happens. Do it one step at a time. And before you know it, something awesome is going to happen in your life. I believe that. And I hope you do too. Anyway, hope you're having an awesome day or night. Wishing you all the best and sending you much love and light. Bye!